So good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon. The purpose of this is to give some information about our recent desegregation case and the opinion that was handed down by the federal court judge, the Honorable Judge Keith Watkins from Montgomery. Today, I want to spend some time talking to you about basically about three issues. I'm going to go into some detail about where we've been, how we got here, and where we're going in the future. And so I'm going to go into a little bit more detail than I normally have about some of the case for some of you that may not know where we've been in the past. The case is over 50 years old, 50-plus year desegregation case. It started in 1970 with Lee versus Macon, and then came with Lee versus Chambers County about coming and desegregating schools and coming under your desegregation obligation. The case then moved forward to jump forward to 1992, to where the case took a big jump in 1990s, 1992. There was a lot that went on there. In 1992, there was some situations going on with the City of Valley, where the City of Valley had thought about trying to form and had petitioned the state to form their own school system. And they were also trying to the county school system was still trying to deal with the desegregation case. The parties, and when I say the parties, there's three groups in this: the district, the private plaintiffs, and the DOJ, the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice are the parties, the LDF are the private parties, and the district is involved. And so those are the three entities that are involved. In 1992, the three parties and the three groups came to a decision, and they came to what's called a consent decree. That consent decree was a big order that dealt with a lot of different things with the green factors. So they dealt with all the different green factors, where it's student assignment, staff assignment, teachers, activities, facilities, and transportation. So it was very comprehensive and broad. The consent decree at that time was very big. One part of the consent decree was to consolidate the high school. That was one of the major issues in the consent decree, was to consolidate the high school. There had been multiple high schools in Chambers County before then, and in 1993 they had gotten down to two. There was Lafayette High School and Valley High School after the closing of Chambers County High and 5 Points. At that time, they had decided to consolidate the high schools because of desegregation, because of racially identifiable schools in the Lafayette area and region. This was in 1993. The Supreme Court then ruled in Alabama. They had ruled that the City of Valley could not form its own school system. And so that pushed everything into that consent decree, and the county school system remained, and they were going to start moving towards consolidating the schools. They pushed it to a vote in 1994 to the citizens to gain the money and the resources for that, and it failed overwhelmingly. And so that failed, and then over the course of the next 10 to 12 years, things pretty much kind of lay dormant. Things kind of lay dormant and didn't go anywhere for a while. One of the issues and problems from 93 to about 2015 that caused some issue with all the parties is that things were going well. Things were going well in the communities. One of the things that did happen during that time is we did have the closing of the textile mills that caused some issues and problems in the area, and has caused some population decline in the area, as well as enrollment with the school district. But there were a lot of things that happened in between that number of years, between 93 and 2015, that gave people pause to think that the consolidated schools may not happen. For example, the building of the new gymnasium at Lafayette High, the building of Rams Stadium at Valley, new additions at both schools, new band rooms at both schools, made people think that if you're spending that kind of money, maybe that the new consolidated high school is not going to happen.